Hi, I'm Scoot, and welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. So, yeah, look, in looking back over the last 50 years of my career, I have just found some really fun pictures. And there was this picture of me. This is after one of the many pie in the face bets that I lost on the Saints. I had a running bet with this morning team in Atlanta from Z93 in Atlanta, Ross and Wilson. And we had a bet. I would fly to Atlanta when the Saints played in Atlanta, and Ross and Wilson would fly to New Orleans when the Saints played, when the Falcons played the Saints in New Orleans. And we always had this pie in the face bet, and the loser got a pie in the face. So I got a lot of these because back then the Saints really sucked. Here's a picture of me in the crew of underwear. So I'm going to share more of these pictures in the next couple of episodes. But this is episode 3 of 50 years in broadcasting. So I guess it would have been 1976. I said something on the air that caused the general manager to call me during the show, and he reamed me out. This was about the presidential election. Okay, so 1976. So I'm on the air the morning before the debate between President Gerald Ford and Democrat Jimmy Carter. Now, you got to remember, this is 1976. This is nothing today. But in 1976, this was a big deal. I thought it was funny and very creative. The general manager didn't like it. So I'm on the air and I'm talking about how, okay, so let's see. We've got Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter debating tonight. If these guys are going to debate in front of a mass audience, that makes them mass debaters. Immediately, the hotline rang. He called me and just reamed me out. I was so upset, I walked out of the studio. I left the microphone on and I just walked out of the studio. I left. I went home. And this was a music station at the time. So, eventually the producer who was talking, she didn't know what the shit was going on. She didn't know what the hell to do. Her name was Max. I remember well. And the microphone's left on and she's in the background going, what do we do? What? She had no direction of what to do. So I think they just started playing music. But yeah, I had this little dispute with the general manager over him getting pissed off because I told that joke. Again, that would be nothing today. But in 1976, that was kind of pushing the limit. And look, I was a different person then. I would never do that today. And there was a time, look, this was early in my career, and I was a brazen little bitch. I'm going to be honest with you. And so, I would never repeat that. But yeah, I mean, that was what happened in the past. Let me also share with you another really interesting story that really almost ended my radio career. Okay, so this wrestling event comes to town. It's in the Superdome. And part of the event is midget wrestling. And so I'm talking to this midget wrestler on the show. He actually came in the studio. Now, this guy was a dwarf. So, we're talking, upper body strength. This little bastard was strong. So anyway, we're kind of going back and forth, and it's all set up in advance. Like, I'm going to give him a hard time. He's going to give me a hard time. And we're going to set this up, and we're going to go in the ring, and we're going to play around a little bit. And then I'm going to allow him to pin me. I mean, not that he wouldn't have beaten me anyway, but I mean, at some point, I'm just going to allow him to pin me. And then the match is going to be over. Okay. That's not what happened in the ring. So we're joking on the air and I'm going, look, man, you're just a little guy. I mean, I should be able to beat you. I can take you. And he's going, no, you can't. And again, it was just like this on-air banner. It was set up in advance. It was as fake as wrestling is. The guy's name was Cowboy Lang. He has since passed away. But I think he really got pissed when the ring is in the middle of the Superdome. And I arrive in a white limousine. White limousine pulls up to the side of the stage in the Superdome. And every once in a while, I'll run into somebody who says, I was there that night. I was there. I saw it. And I got out with a white top hat, a white shirt, something, and then a red cape, a red satin cape. So, man, I was playing it up. I mean, this was, part of being just a crazy morning disc jockey at that time. So this would have been, I guess, maybe 1979. So I think he got really pissed off. So I'm back in the dressing room in the Dome, and one of the other regular wrestlers comes back to me, and he said, Scoot, I just want to tell you that, Cowboy Lang is pissed, and he's not going to play around once he gets you in the ring. He's going to take it seriously. And he said, I wouldn't go in the ring with him if I were you. Well, I was stupid. I thought, that we got this set up. This is all set up. That guy was trying to save my freaking life. And he was right. So we get in the ring, and we play around a little bit, and then it's like, okay, well, we've wrestled around a little bit. Now I'm going to let him pin me, and it's going to be over. Well, Cowboy Lang got behind my back. He was behind me. He had my throat in the crevice of his arm. And again, we're talking about a dwarf with strength. And he is squeezing me. I tried to pin myself, but I couldn't because he was behind me. So I couldn't end it. And the pressure continued on my throat. I tried to reach out. I mean, I was so stunned. I tried to reach out and grab the referee who was right there, and I couldn't do it. So he didn't know that it wasn't part of the bit. I saw the lights in the Dome going out. I momentarily passed out. At that moment, the referee knew we better stop this. And that little son of a bitch let me go. But I had trauma to the larynx and was off the air for 3 days. It could have ended my career. And Cowboy Lang, just like that wrestler warned, turned on me in the ring. And I was scared. I mean, because I could tell, in fact, when I got in the ring, I mean, it's like, his nose was flaring. I mean, I'm thinking, boy, this guy's one hell of an actor because, this is all kind of worked out. But no, he looks really pissed. Well, he was. So anyway, I'm lucky to be still talking today. So look, coming up in the future, we'll talk about some of the time that I spent. I was part of the Bengals. In case you didn't know, this was San Diego, 1987, and let's see, this was me with Rhonda Shear, actress, and she was the girl who did the movie Wraparounds in Lingerie, Up All Night. And let's see what else. Oh, this is a classic picture of me and Captain Humble. There are not many pictures of us together, but this is a picture of me and Captain Humble in the mid-'70s. And then in the next episode 4, I'll tell you about a controversy. Now, I'm on a music radio station, but I started causing shit on the air like a long time ago while I was on a music station. I took the First Amendment seriously, and I took the First Amendment to the limit, and I defended what I did. But this appeared in New Orleans Magazine. And in this article, this doesn't really talk about it, but in this article, it talks about, you know, FM is going to be big one day because again, all the big people were on AM radio, and I start doing this FM personality show on FM in the morning, and nobody ever done that before, but it worked. But anyway, Keith Rush got into a big argument with me. We were not on each other's air, but he would talk about me on his show, which was on after mine on another station on WSMB, and I would talk about him the next morning. And it ended up being this really long kind of verbal battle back and forth because he he did not like how I was using the First Amendment. He didn't like the double entendres. And like the double entendres included things like, in fact, this is in this article. You know what? I'm going to save it. I'm going to save this until episode 4 tomorrow night, which is going to be the night before, just like the big party. And I'm so honored that Generations Hall wants to do this 80s night 50th anniversary party. And I guess it's kind of cool that I'm here to talk about it. And, it just goes to show you that you can have a long career that you love and you're still involved in that career all these years later. So if you're a Gen Xer, Zoomer, millennial, man, you just hang in there. And if you've got a job you love, just keep doing it. Because, sometimes things really do work out. I'm not even finished yet. I mean, I feel such energy, and I'm not even sure where my career is going to go from here, but it's far from over. So in the next episode, I'll talk a little bit about this battle with Keith Rush, and I'll share for a few more pictures from the past, and we'll talk about some other things. So we'll have episode 4 coming up tomorrow night. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I hope you subscribe. Scoot on the Air YouTube. Subscribe, and we give you a little notice every time we post something. And if you can't watch it live, well, then you can watch it whenever you get a chance. But the reminder will be there. So I hope you will subscribe and become a part of this. And I want to thank once again one of my sponsors, Go Tax Resolution, for being involved in the 80s night and the anniversary celebration. And look, this party at Generations Hall, Saturday night, the 80s start at 8. It's this Saturday night, Generations Hall. This is a chance for me to say thank you, because my career, all these years, and some people have been listening for 50 years. It's amazing. So I get a chance to party with you. I get a chance to thank you. So I hope you'll join me. And tomorrow on my radio show on WWL, we're going to do a special edition of Free for All Friday. And it was my senior studio producer, Ian Hoke, who worked this out, that this is what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to do like Scoot stories from the past. Some of the stories, I can tell most of the stories. I can't tell all of them, but I can tell most of the stories, and I'll tell some of the stories that, I don't know, maybe you haven't heard. Maybe you have heard. I can get a little more descriptive here on the YouTube channel, but we'll do that tomorrow afternoon from 1 to 4. That's 1 to 4 Central Time. Download the app Odyssey, AUDACY. And, I want you to share your stories with me. If you have stories or memories over the last, half a century, Christ, that's like amazing. So anyway, but it's fun, and we've all been in this together. We've all done this together. So join me on the show tomorrow. And if you have any like embarrassing memories, about me or with me, please share those on the show tomorrow afternoon. And again, subscribe to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel.